Welcome to the Chronically Well podcast, where we hold real conversations with community that need to be heard. On today's episode, I get to speak with Shani. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Shani. Shani is someone, she may not know this. I told her previously that I do not know of her in this space, but being a master visual artist, that's how I think I first came about you. And I remember wondering, like, what does she actually look like? Because I could not tell from your Instagram who you were versus your art. And now I get the chance to see you, speak with you, and have this conversation. And, you know, we're breaking ground, breaking barriers, and doing everything we need to do to succeed in this thing called life. Yes. So, Shani, thank you for joining with me. Shani, could you please give the world a brief description of who you are?
Hello. Before I speak to who I am, I really want to give you a big, huge thank you. I went to school for film production and all of that, and I fell in love with archive research and digital media archives and everything that you've been doing and have been creating and preserving these stories that are important. Our stories are important from perspectives that aren't heard, and doing it so beautifully. I just really appreciate. I'm trying to match your background. I hope you see the golds and the blues.
I see.
But I really appreciate you. Like, without people such as yourself, my kind of ideal and vision of the world would still be very, very small. You broaden that, your roadmap. But anyway, my name is Shani Zuberry. I am a 23-year-long diabetic and going. I create art. I try to live the art and just I do my best. When people usually ask me, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm doing my best. And they're like, oh, how's your diabetes? And I'm like, I'm still alive, aren't I? So that's a good starting point for me.
Look, Shani, you just said something. The last phrase you said, you're doing your best. At any given time when someone asks me how I am doing, I always respond with, I'm doing my best.
Yes.
And people are like, how are you always doing your best? I said, because every day I have to be better than the previous. At every moment, I have to be better than the previous moment. Like, yes. I cannot take steps backwards.
No.
Gotta move forward.
This condition and this life that we have been brought into from all of our diverse backgrounds, it has to be a lateral push, because if you stay like dormant on the same level, you can. That's a big option. You can stay there, but it won't produce the wondrous things that can come of it if you just keep pushing forward and upward. There's this ADHD, forgive me, but there's this lovely, I wrote her name. She was a lawyer. She became a judge. She's on my graduation cap. She talks about, I forget her name. I can't remember anything. She talks about, like, there are 5 choices in life. Like, once you have graduated and you have taken this time, you can decide, I will take my degree, I will follow that degree, and I will become who I'm meant to become with that degree and be around the people I'm meant to be around. I will read the things that I'm meant to read and make the decisions I'm expected to make. And then I think choice 5, which is the choice I aspire to be. And you don't dive into choice 5 right off the bat. It's a conscious decision you make with every single thing you do. It is very uncomfortable. It is a lonely choice. It is a tiring choice, but it is deeply satisfying because you make all of your choices are made within that moment because it is what feels to be the best choice and the most right within that moment. There is no, oh, A plus B will equal C. A plus B sometimes winds up with Z and you're just on a completely different ball. But that was the right choice for you within that moment. And that was the decision that was made. I don't remember where we got off to. Where were
Look,
we going?
I know because you told me ADD was going to kick in, but I mean I consider look when someone tells me that I'm like ADD, okay, we all have a bit of look adult deficit disorder.
Yes,
That
yes,
look that's what I call it because I mean I know like when you just started talking, I'm like and I'm like in my head I'm like where did we start off at? But
I
it does look it doesn't even matter. You know why? Because you said we don't plan life, right?
yes,
We can't plan every step we make in this thing called life because there's going to be obstacles that we have to crush,
yes,
barriers we have to impede through. We
yes,
we have to do all of those things and we got to bring our people with us even when we get there. So
yes.
the plan is never the true plan. It's the actual path and the actual journey.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're on that path and you actually know the journey, once you embark on that voyage, everything is going to settle in. Everything's going to be all right.
Yes, yes,
Yes. So you said you're in your 23rd year living with diabetes.
yes, I am.
So I call that the Jordan year.
Ooh.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So you're in your Jordan year.
oh,
Look, my diabetes just turned 21 a few months ago. Was it about a month and a half ago? Matter of fact, March 10th. Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah. Congratulations to us,
Yes, yes.
because a little over 100 years ago, with the advent of man-made insulin,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have our people didn't have that opportunity. We weren't gifted that opportunity to actually use insulin then. At that point in time, it was it took some time before we were able to use it because they didn't think that people that look like us could even get diabetes.
Mm.
So, I mean, today, like I said, we're breaking through all barriers. And I mean, we're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, and making sure that we bring our ancestors with us because I know that they will come back for us,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Um, you're from, are you from the West Coast? I know you live in the West Coast.
I am. Yes, I am. I was had to think about it. I was born in California and raised in like Solano County, and then my mom was in the military. She was a police officer in the Air Force, so we moved from Virginia to San Francisco to um where were we? Santa Fe. Santa Fe was beautiful. A lot of beautiful art out there. Beautiful art everywhere. But we just moved around a bit and then came back to California because I'm a Sunshine State girl and I remain.
So I have never been to California.
Ooh,
Someday soon.
come.
I
Let me
I
know.
have it in the works to do some traveling, me and my family. Um, but the West Coast, like when you say Sacramento area, the
Mhm.
Bay, I'm a part of that era where when they tell me the Bay, you know what I respond with?
But
Tell
easy.
me, tell me when to go.
Mhm.
Look, E40, Too Short, like people people like that because I mean hip hop is the most influential culture today. Like
Yeah,
over the last 40 years, everyone has gotten a bit from hip hop. Everyone, even those who reject and deny it, their babies are even birthed into
yeah,
hip hop. So
yeah.
like hip hop is a culture.
It is. It is.
It is. And does your family come from California? like here in the States?
Yes,
Okay. And growing up, do you have siblings?
I do. I have a older brother on my mom's side and a smattering of siblings on my father's side.
Look, every time when I hear people say that, they be like on side.
Yes.
Like I'm always like, what does that mean? But like on your father's side, because I'm
Yeah.
used to hearing like someone say something like when they say on their mother's side, they're talking about like cousins or aunts
Mm,
or but siblings. I understand like so you grew up in a household where you did have mom and dad different sides.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have any siblings that are both your mother and father as you are?
No, no.
No. Oh, you're one of one.
I'm one of one.
Oh, one of
We are
ones.
we are a beautiful assortment of prints. I was created with my mom in a where was it? I think it was because they were still fraternization, still in the military. So maybe it was in Mexico. And after that, everything else happened elsewhere. My brother was like the Virgin Islands. My father, he's just all over the place. Beautiful assortments. We got different numbers though, different factories.
Look, you said your father's like all over the place because you did mention about the multiple siblings you have on your father's side.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that was he in the military as well?
He was, and then he left. He was in the pretty branch, the Marines. Yeah, he yeah.
Why do you call it the pretty branch?
They're just they're pretty. They're like the Air Force, gorgeous people as well. I love all the branches, got you. But like, there's something about the Marines that are just like too neat, and it's kind of
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah. One of my best friends growing up after high school, he went into the military and he first went into the Marines. He was an MP in the Marines, like your mother, MP.
Hmm.
And then after a few years, he left the Marines and went into the Army as an
Hmm.
MP. And he retired as an MP in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, you know all about being an MP in the military from your mother.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the age gap between you and your siblings?
I
Are you the oldest?
I would feel like I've been the baby for a while because my father's still active duty in that regard. But
Uh, I got you. Look, because I was thinking that you were the oldest because you were the only one who was a blend of both, but I get it.
yes. My brother is on my mom's side is like a 9 year difference, and then I have a bunch of older siblings. I have a younger brother who looks just like me on my dad's side. He's so cute. But like just taller and more like muscular and like it's just I loved when I was younger going to like family gatherings and everything because I it was between my grandmother, my grandmother and my great grandmother on my father's side. They both had diabetes. My grandmother, she had like LAD. She was latent, and for the longest time they were saying it's type 2, it's this, it's that, it's the other. And they're like, oh, nothing's working with this. And I would get so many of her supplies now that I'm older. When she doesn't need them, I just call her and I'm like, you don't need that. But she does.
And
It's
today you know that that's your connection to diabetes.
that's my connection. That's one of them. I mean, I enjoy my life, my looks, all of it. I'm glad those two humans came together and decided to create me. But like my mom doesn't really know her father's side of the family, and I did a lot of
Okay.
like genealogy research into it, and it turns out like a lot of people on his side as well were diabetic. So it was just bound to happen. It's like all those swimmers. I was just the fastest one. I was like, we need to combine these two family trees,
Mhm.
produce another.
Diabetic. Look, seriously,
Yeah.
That's how I found out that my great grandmother was a type 1 diabetic through
Yes.
ancestry.com and finding
Yes.
her death certificate and everything. Like,
I know it's I love it's morbid, but I love finding death certificates and like realizing that like on my mom's side there's a lot of like breast cancer and all this other stuff and there's a lot of like oh symptoms of diabetes that weren't really necessarily talked about. And on my dad's side you just have like oh yeah so and so died from this and it's like oh yeah complications of this and I'm like yeah this has been going on for a while and no, they're just like, oh, he just ate too much cake. And I'm like, no, sure.
nope.
Yeah, that's sure, that's it.
I got this from y'all. And
Yeah.
yeah, so like how you were just saying, you got it like it may be on both sides. So
Hmm.
like with my great grandmother, my like I was just having a fight. Well, not a fight, but my aunt is bickering with me. She's bickering
Yes.
with me because she never met her grandmother. My mom never met
Hmm.
her either, like none of them.
Yes.
My mom's oldest sister was born 1955, and my great grandmother passed in 1954. So, and my grandmother was 19 at the time. So, one of someone who actually knew my great grandmother, a cousin of hers, she's been sharing with me like family history and everything. Like she's the big genealogy like expert in the family. She's like 80 plus years old. And she's like handing me down these things just so they would never get lost in the
Yeah.
family. And I was like, yeah, because I've heard that my great grandmother was a Native woman. And she's like, no, she wasn't. Look, and I'm like, but that's what everyone says that she was this Native woman, and she's like, no. She's like, have you done a genealogy or DNA test and whatever? And I'm like, I have, and I'm waiting on the results. So this was like 2 years ago. And when the results came back, she was like, it's not going to show any native here in the Americas, no, as they would say, Native American or Indian here in the US. And so I looked at it and it was like, there's none at all. And she was like, yeah, she was like, there's a great population of people here in the US and on all of the Americas, Black people who think that they have native blood, but it's more so like a mixture of like European blood.
Hmm.
So I was telling my aunt, because me and my cousin, we both had got our DNA tests. And she was like, telling my aunt, she was like, we don't have any Native American blood. And so we got this family Facebook group, and my aunt replies like 6 months later all the time. I mean, she's 60 plus, so I give her that grace period in time. So she replied last week telling my cousin, she was like, she's like, yes, we are native. I remember I saw the picture when I was little. It was hanging up in on Aunt Sarah's wall. And I'm like, Aunt, that's I said her skin may have been light, her hair may have been straight. She's like, yeah, she was a native woman. I said, more than likely, she was of a mixed heritage or background of black and white, because my great grandmother was orphaned at under 6 months old at the
Oh,
turn of the century of the 20th century. So 1900, 1902. A mixed child, especially if she was being birthed by a white woman, would have
yes.
been abandoned or given up.
Yes.
And it's so hard for her to believe that. She's like, I don't believe it. I'm like, you want to see the DNA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a lot, but it's hard to get our elders to break through and be on common ground with us because I mean, their fight is a lot different than our fight,
it
right?
is. It is.
So for them to, I don't want to break her heart with that.
No, no.
So
Uh,
I Yeah, I try to share with her, like, okay, we do have all of this native, like African blood. Like,
Yes, we are natives of somewhere else. We are
yes.
natives of a lot of places, but just elsewhere. It's that I've been interested in genealogy and like family history and research forever, ever since I was younger. And I would go through photo albums and I'm like, "Who's that? Tell me who that is." And of course, it's always like, "You don't need to know that. You don't know them." Like, I don't know anyone in this book. I'm five, but it's it's that need to be very respectful of their privacy, because this is their current their lived history, and they've known these people possibly, or they know of stories that they've been affected, or they've loved these people, or they've hated these people, and this new little soul's coming along and it's like, tell me about your father, and they're like, I don't want to. So it's it's a lot for them, but it's like, I feel like that kind of like that like that not wanting to go toward that history or talking about it, that gives a nice description too, as well as like who these people were, possibly at least from their perspectives, and like, oh, as a good way to possibly follow in discovering them yourself. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
I know a lot of times like they want to just leave it as it is
yes.
because I mean, I know that they don't have any memory or recollection of their
Mm,
grandmother, like my mom, my aunts.
yes.
So they have this buildup of who she was.
And that you're preserving that in your heart, like that's who that person is, and you're telling me
Right.
something else. That can be absolutely world shattering.
It can be because like I never knew my paternal grandparents, and like my grandfather, like growing up, my dad always told me like he was a pastor, he had his own church and everything. So for me growing up, my grandfather was Martin Luther King.
I
Like
know.
Dr. King was my grandfather. Like seriously.
Yes. Oh, that I have also, I've never, until I think I turned 21. That was the first time I saw a picture of my grandfather on my dad's side. I've never had a grandpa like that. And I was just like, I don't know who these people are, but he had the most gorgeous ears. Such a cute man, and just tall and lanky. And I'm just like, I love seeing this image. It has brought such joy. It's like when you think of Martin Luther King, a lot of people think of him as the man uh, that was there. But when you see a baby picture of
Mhm.
Martin Luther King, it is just the most precious little thing, and the face and the smile, and seeing the boy who grew up to be the person that he came. It's just that connection is so gorgeous.
Right. I mean, it's great that we're able to build up what we want of our people, the
Hmm.
people who actually helped us become who we are.
Hmm.
And I guess that's what our family, our elders are doing as well.
Yeah,
So if someone tells me that Martin Luther King is not my grandfather, that's going to be an issue.
that's
Like he's not my grandfather, but that's what I know.
he's my grandfather. Yes,
Yeah,
I get
right.
it.
And us being artists, like
Mhm.
we're able to like that creative mind. I mean, even if someone tells us that someone was like this bad, horrible person down in history, we can recreate that in our own minds.
Oh yeah,
Especially if it's a family member,
oh yeah.
we can we can visualize like maybe they went through a traumatic experience that altered who they became, and we can play that whole film in our mind.
That entire, like, you see the trifling behavior, but you're like, there has to be an origin story to this. There has to be so much more building
Right.
up to this. No one just starts off like that.
Right. So we've been talking about family and background. Do you know any of your like your background, your heritage, like where your people come from?
Yes, I believe about 29%, it's mostly West African, is Nigerian, and then we have quite a bit in like Benin and Congo, and there's a mix around, and then we go to the lower percentages, and there's what is there? I think a lot of like Scottish and some other things. Those are the low numbers. Let's stay in the double digits.
Look, the low number for me is Welsh. Like,
ah, yes, that's. I have like a
yeah.
point something. We might have a
Mhm.
common cousin somewhere.
Yeah, I tell everyone that Ancestry DNA tells me that I'm 88% of African descent,
Mhm.
but I'm still 100% black.
Yes, yes, that belongs on a hoodie. I want that hoodie.
Look, 100%. So, what are some of your passions, things that you like truly love and enjoy doing, and you can like dive into them and you're there all day, all night, like diabetes is in the background?
I I adore creating digital art, and I love creating videos and just media in that regard. I love for the longest time when I was going to school for film production, I was just like, I want to be in this field. I know exactly my brain picks up sentences. They sound so beautiful, and they just go and they're like, next one, next one, next one. But when I first started at university, my grandmother was like, you need to find a career that you enjoy going to a dinner party with these people and you enjoy doing the thing. You don't just, oh, that sounds really cool, but then you go to a dinner party and the people that you're going to be working with, you don't really like them, and then that just kind of tanks the whole situation. But like film, television, radio, all of that was just in it for me. I started off in computer programming because I like that, but then that wasn't quite it for me. But once I got there, my very first day of class, I met another student who was unscrewing a camera with the back of his pump clip, and screwing it back together. And I was just like, "Are you diabetic?" And he was like, "Yes, I am diabetic." I'm like, "I have been doing this for about like 2 years now, and I've yet to see like another diabetic in my field." That brought such joy to my heart because I was just so focused on like, I want to make this kind of content that looks beautiful, and I'm learning how to do all of this. But then it really, like in that moment, it struck me that diabetes can, like, because I don't see it a lot, and if you do, it's usually like, oh, there's a big cool scene coming up and there's this main actor over here, and then oh, that girl's on the floor having a seizure, she must be diabetic, get her a Snickers. And like that's not that's not what like I want to see anymore. I want to see, like, diabetes can be so many things, and I'm like, I want to curate that, and I want to like create that and show it through art and moving image and sound and all of this, and I want to show how diabetes can be really sexy and beautiful. So that just changed my complete perspective of creating film and images. Like most of my Instagram, like you said earlier, like you don't really see me a lot on my Instagram. Like maybe the very first few are me in my like hat days and my mom, but like as it goes up, it's just like my love of research and history, but turning it into like the art like that hangs in Amsterdam, but photoshopping my face onto it. So it's a brown, lovely version of that with curls and afros. And then like during the pandemic, it was like I keep creating myself in this art, but I'm like, it's not fully myself because I I am diabetic, and like that, like I can't really, I can't run from that, and I don't have to see it because I live it every day. I see it every day, but I wanted to see it in a way that like like a pump is like a fashion piece in itself. because hey, it's expensive enough, or the syringes that I'm using are expensive enough. The insulin, good Lord, I have so many insulin vials. I refuse to throw them away. If I do get rid of them, I'll take them to the hospital, put them in the bin. But like I'm creating jewelry out of this because this is freaking expensive. And like if you reach that little point and you're like, I can't pull anymore, those champagne bubbles aren't coming out. And I'm like, I can't drink it, but I'm gonna wear it. So I make like necklaces and different things out of it because like it's making the medical less mundane and like pretty because it can be if you just like you look at it that kind of way. So I started like adding in like pancreases into my art, and then I did a quick short like video series of just like things that, oh my gosh, things that have been said to me because I'm diabetic. And I'm like, I'm fine with like strangers on the streets that are like, oh, if you just did yoga. And I'm like, oh, you know what? If you tell me a good place to do yoga, I'll take it up and we'll see how that goes. But like when it comes to medical, like endocrinologists and physicians, I'm just like, you went to school for this. I pay you $15 a month. I don't know why you're saying to me right now because this this makes no sense. I had a what's her name? I'm not going to say her name, but I had a dietitian once who said, if you took care of yourself as well as you dress, then you'd be on track. And I was just like,
You should have said, "Let me style you." Then
I needed you. Where were I needed you. I was so speechless. I did not say a single word after that. And I was just like, I didn't go back to her. I found a new dietitian. I did all that. But I like, I was just like befuddled because I was like, it's like in my head cussing someone out. But then like outward appearance, I'm just like, is this,
frozen.
are, are you serious right now? But I find the art in that too, because if you don't, you're just gonna look up someone's address and stab their tire. I'm kidding. No. If you don't find something from that, then it's pointless. Try to make the best out of it all of it.
Out of all of it, I mean, because we know living with this chronic health condition that is type 1 diabetes, there's
Mhm.
so many different things thrown in our way,
Yes.
whether it's people,
Hmm.
uh, and more so than anything, it is people.
Yeah, that's the sad
look,
thing.
they don't understand how we like maneuver through these things, like duck and
Hmm.
dodge. Like it's getting a little too peoply outside. Let me stay in.
Yes.
You're just talking about film, and that
Yes.
made me think. I've recorded with someone, a few different people, but one in particular, a young lady from New York, and she's big into film. She went to school for film in New York City, and she makes shorts, and she's done some documentaries about like diabetes and insulin and things like that. And I'm like, I wrote it down because I was like, I need to connect people because that's a big thing that I want to do with this platform, being able
Yeah.
to connect us with us. Like,
I I'm terrible with names, but uh she the fashion designer from Africa you just interviewed.
Hamida.
Amita, I just contacted her. I'm reaching out to her because I'm doing a pageant. It's like a charity pageant thing. My platform's going to be about diabetic awareness and everything. And I was like, I want a dress from you. Like I could get a dress anywhere, but I want to wear you
Mhm.
to that. And like without that connection, thank you.
You're
But keep
welcome.
going. What were you saying?
So, well, Hamida, I actually recorded with Hamida maybe 2 months ago.
Mm,
hmm So I've actually, eh, I don't even, I'm on like 100 and something recordings. I have a bunch of them that I'm editing at once and just going to put them out like a few per week.
yes.
But yeah, Hamida, every time someone brings up her name, like my heart. is like filled, like it's full.
Yes,
Like
yes,
she is amazing. That's the only thing I can say. She's
yeah,
so amazing. And I told her I can't wait until we link up one day. Like seriously.
yes. I would love to see that. Oh,
Yeah. So what kind of film do you said you create film? You want to get more into like doing film about diabetes and
yes.
awareness?
Like after booking this with you, I was like, okay, I've always had this ideal and this dream in my mind of like a production company called Dream Hair Productions, but it's spelled Hare, like hair, it's little sleeping rabbit. Um, and like I was like, is it a fashion line? Is it what? And I'm like, I feel like it's like a series, but I don't know what kind of series called Honeymoon Period. And I was driving to work one day. I was on time. Great. That was a great day. And I was going a little low though while I was like getting off the freeway. So there's like not a lot of like pull off to the side kind of situations, like push forward till you can pull off. And I have a like audio recording app on my phone that I just click it on the home screen. I don't have to unlock it. And I'm like, I have an idea in my head. I need to get it out. And I was just talking and I was just like, I'm going to make a show. And like, you know, that excitement you get when you're low and it's like, I'm
Mhm.
delirious. But like, this is such a good idea right now. Like, I should totally put ketchup on some pineapple and just eat it. But
What?
no, it's just like it's an absurd ideal. But no, my ideal was just like I want there to be a show called Honeymoon Period because like I was 3 years old when I got diagnosed and I don't really remember like that stage when I was like slowly like getting weaned off of my insulin and everything like that. I remember it's the weirdness that built this personality of like, oh, Shani's in the bathtub again drinking water, or like, oh, Shani doesn't like sweets or cake, but she just ate like half this wedding cake and stabbed the side of an orange juice bottle with a knife because her little hands can't open the cap. And they're like, that's just Shani. And my grandma was like, no, I think something's wrong with her. You should take her to the hospital. And like that was my honeymoon period, like that slow like progression of like, oh, it keeps getting worse as she
Hmm.
gets older. Um, and I remember like in the summer, ants used to just like crawl up my legs. Like I had the old time kind of diagnosis where little ants would be like, oh, something's wrong. Let's
Something
go away.
sweet.
You're very sweet. But I want to like take people back, like, you know, because you can be insulin resistant in a number of ways. You can have your like pancreas completely removed, and like that's it. That's a reason. Whether you're type one, type 1000, whatever.
Type 3C.
3C, any.
I recorded with someone with type 3C maybe 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. I wanted something to like to be about like the condition of it, but like to to make it like while you're watching the episodes, like the way I feel when I listen to your podcast, like for this short period of time that it takes to do this, like whether it's 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I want it to feel like diabetes is like the coolest thing
Hmm.
that you can be a part of. It's like that's your Letterman jacket. That's like, oh, I'm a part of this crew. And like, oh my gosh, I can't like I know that. I can relate to that. We both did like, oh, that ketchup and a pineapple ideal. It sounds crazy. It wasn't so bad. But I wanted to be like I wanted it to be something in that line. So I came up with the ideal of honeymoon period, which is this honeymoon, a little period at the end, to just create just like these shorts and like this ideals that I just get in my mind, and they range from like this so many things from like cooking, but then also like oh, when you're working and you have a low in the office and like how do you tell your if you want to because I come from my mom was very much oh don't tell anyone you have diabetes kind of situation like oh you're gonna use it and abuse it past belief because you're an adorable child and people hear you have diabetes they're gonna want to do something for you and I'm like what's so bad about that um But like,
Serious.
I would like intentionally when I was like 6, I would just leave test strips around people's houses and they'd be like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that looks like a test strip." And they're like, "What's a test strip?" I'm like, "Can I tell you? Can I tell you so much about why there's a bloody test strip on your
Mm.
mouth?" But just where was I? Just like the brilliance of I haven't experienced like a romantic relationship or anything yet, but like I've imagined the ideal of dating while diabetic, and that's going to be a series in there. Going to be like all the conversations I have with my grandmother that I recorded, and she's just like, why are you still single?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm focused on my education and my health and myself." She's like, "Okay, but when's that going to be over?" I'm like, "Well, never really," but but it's like this all the connections and the different factors of like responding to it, living with it, and just how it's reflected and just different perspectives, like the because we always get like the medical side of diabetes and like, "Oh, have you visited your doctor today? Oh, have you been honest?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." um I will just like this I want to make it fun, like
Like, no, I wasn't honest because she's
I
still
want
talking about my fashion.
exactly, and I want it to be so catty and fun like that, and it's like fast and snappy, and oh, I so many things. What for you? What is something that I'm stealing the microphone that you were handing me, and I was pulling it back at you. Hold it up. It's like, hello. What is something that you feel that through your experience with diabetes and just like your life and everything is something that you wouldn't say is particularly like very like, oh, qualifies as like, oh, this is very diabetic, but it ties into it and you're like, this is part of my diabetes. Does that make any sense?
Um, it does make sense, but I think I'm at a stage in my life where I think everything ties into my diabetes.
It literally is.
Every single thing. Like right now, having this conversation is
Yes.
tying into my diabetes because I'm pretty sure unless you gave yourself a correction before hopping on here, your adrenaline is rising,
Yes.
so your blood sugar is going up. Like
Yes.
so,
Yes. As that 5 minute break we just had, rushed off to the
mhm.
bathroom, checked
and
the sensor, everything's good.
and
Go.
that's something that people who do not live with insulin dependence
Mm,
truly understand. Like
yeah.
they don't understand that when the weather changes, so does the different variables that exist within being a person with insulin dependence.
Yes.
There's a list of variables that will just keep on going, keep on going. It's like the never ending story.
Yes.
It's like you can be having a dream. Diabetes affects your dreams. But
Yes.
whether you're high or low, the dreams we have when we're low,
Yes.
those are the lucid dreams that are like, it's almost like Alice in Wonderland.
I can feel myself falling down the stairs when I'm low in a dream. And I'm like literally just like, and I wake up and I'm like, well, something's wrong. I really need like it's so intense.
Right. So yeah, and those dreams are so deep.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And and to explain to a person that living with this insulin dependence, we we may or we will have things such as hypoglycemic episodes and seizures because like our hormones are changing throughout the day, especially when we're rested and sleep. Our Because even our growth hormones are altered. So while we're resting and we're asleep, we may go to bed like perfect. It's like unicorn.
Hmm.
But because of how our body is at rest, so many different things are occurring throughout our sleep. And we cannot control that at all. So if we have a hypoglycemic episode or a hyper episode, all we can do is like somehow train the mind and the body to be able to awake from that and attempt to try it, like you just said, getting up and grabbing whatever and
Hmm.
trying to remedy it. And
Yes.
people who don't live with this, they really like, I don't know how, like, I always tell people, I cannot explain this to you.
No.
And that's one of the main reasons I created this platform so that everyone can have their story to share. So instead of sharing like a Google search for like what is type 1 diabetes, because it always comes up the same.
Hmm.
So there's an episode of the Juicebox podcast, episode 1019, explaining type 1 diabetes. And I've listened to that so many times over and shared it so many times over because it's about sharing what type 1 diabetes is to a family member, a loved one, a coach, a teacher, educator, like anyone, a police officer, all of those people. And I'm like, I keep on sharing it because I'm like, it's going to reach as many people as I share it too, and
Yes.
hopefully they'll share it also. So with everyone creating or sharing their story on here, it's an easy drop in. Like you could send to a potential person you want to be in a relationship with,
Mhm.
someone you work with who's always asking you about diabetes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, living with diabetes, insulin dependence, there's
Mhm.
no stoppage to it. This faucet is going to keep
Dripping,
on dripping.
overflowing, flowers are
Overflowing.
growing, and there's no drought in sight.
I did take a note of something a while ago. It's probably been 20 minutes. You were talking about your supplies and yeah, like making the insulin vials into earrings and stuff. And I've said, and I wrote down hoarding supplies. I wrote hoarding supplies slash trash. And
Yes.
I wrote, I do it too. How'd you get into creating the art that you actually create?
Um, I got into it through, ooh, I feel like I'm gonna go back to my mom. My mom is like really, hmm, she's artsy in her own right. Because when she was in the military, she I guess she was like put on like probation for something for like talking back or something. So they sent her to the Pentagon to give tours and all of that stuff. And so she's just like been in love with museums and art and galleries and all of that sorts. And like being raised with her because I was homeschooled the whole time. But I was homeschooled all the way up until high school, and then I went and did like at home high school independent studies and graduated that way. But like I've been with my mom the whole time, and the art of everything in it. It's like from science to history. Da, 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 da. It was influenced in art, and also the research of like the free public domain art that is provided through libraries and museums in different countries, and just like the free licensing and the beautiful resolution of images you can download. That just got me started. And I'm like, this is beautiful, but I don't see myself in it. And I I want this, but I don't want it enough to pay for it. So I found art and I was like, this is nice. I went to school. Um, and the beautiful thing about being homeschooled is you can really build your itinerary of like what you want to do. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I want to learn digital art. And uh, shout out to Miller, my dealer, my Adobe teacher, Mrs. Miller. She was phenomenal in it. She was like, "Oh, you're done with your assignment. You have a free hour just to create whatever you want." And we were making um, like stop smoking like billboard signs and like just like freelance artwork. And it's like, oh, there's a school petition going around, like make a poster for it, Shani. So we do it and we make it. And then from there, I was just like, I can cut my head off and put it on this person. And I'm in this movie now. I'm like, this is gonna happen now. I'm just gonna put myself in every single film I want to be in. So I started doing that, and I'm like, ooh, what if the jacket from this movie was like kind of mixed in with this? And I was like, I'm gonna make this, and I started all merging it all, and that's when I started photoshopping my face onto things like a bit more intentionally, and I'm like, I can create so many worlds out of this, and that's my vanity. So basically, to answer your question, my vanity started this. Yeah.
And how long do you think you've been doing it?
I've been doing this since I'm not good at counting. I was homeschooled. No, I'm kidding. I've been doing this since 2000 and I would say 2016, 15. I've been doing it, like releasing it to the public and that the likes of that probably 2019, but I've been doing a lot of digital art and design and honing my craft since 2015. I'm gonna go there. Lock
And
that in.
after listening to and watching this, people are going to be able to find your art. Where will they be able to find it?
In their dreams, in their mind's eye. No, they'll be able to find my art on, it's mostly on Instagram, under at Shani, Shani dot Zuberi, Zuberi. And I have a lot of my artwork there, but I am in the works of creating a YouTube page where I will be doing videos. And I've made websites before. I do a bit of web design. Might make a website. We'll see.
No, and I know you've been in the people of color living with diabetes Facebook group that I created. So, if you ever, I'm sure they'll all raise their hands.
Yes.
Like if you wanted to, like, because you're working on creating, you mentioned probably about 5 or 6 different series that you're creating.
All in one. That's the
All in one.
chaotic motion of
Look,
one.
because like from the jump, like I asked you, I was like, do you have like what do you do? Like what do you sit down and do? And you can like basically like you don't worry about diabetes and doing. And I just remembered that was the question I had asked
Yeah.
you. Because like you like Shadi, you are how what's the word I want to say? It's something like it reminds me of like childhood, like like free, and like your mind like doesn't stick to one thing. Like kids be like, I want some strawberries, and then they're like, can I have some water? It's like,
Like I'm dying of thirst, but
what
also
can
I want to lay in the sun.
right? Can we go to the store now? Like,
It's like after experiencing a
right,
choking
right.
spasm on hard candy, you're just like, that was awesome. Can we watch TV?
Right. So that's what it reminds me. It reminds me like it's fun.
Yes.
Like seriously, like it's fun, and you have that spirit in you. And I noticed it from like when you first hopped into the Facebook group. Like you came in with jokes, and it was like I don't know. It was like it was like late at night, or
Yes.
like and I was like. You just popped in, like, let me introduce myself while everyone else is asleep. Like somebody's gonna wake up and help me through this low.
Yes, I mean that's literally I have no sense of it. I'm like, oh, I'm up at 6 in the morning. It's my brother's girlfriend's birthday. I'm gonna send her a video message and I'm gonna be like, happy birthday. And then they're just both like, it's 6. And I'm like, I know it's 6 on her birthday. So let's party.
Right, and
Uh,
I'm going to make sure I'm the first one.
Yes, you're like out of all of them, Shani was the first one to wish you a happy birthday. I care for you the most in this world. Everyone else is secondary. Yes.
Mhm. Right. Because like when we consider like even diabetes, you You were diagnosed, you said, at 3 years young.
Yes, yes, yes.
3 years young. I was wondering like if that affected any of your like developmental, like reaching developmental milestones at such a young age.
I I really feel like I can't I say I feel like it gave me more steps and it helped me reach things a little bit quicker because like
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, because like growing up like in like the community and the people that I have been around, um, you grow up fast and you have to be mature in things, but my mom has always like held a space for me to kind of like preserve that whimsy and that wonder and like to never like even like in the hardest and darkest of times you can find something like you just got to search for it even if it's just a spark of some kind of light. You got to search for it because it's gonna happen and what you take from it you take from it. But like I remember it's the first I come from a very nice, they're rather religious family. Mother was raised Catholic, all these lovely things. But I was on a trip with my mom and my auntie, and we were traveling, and I don't know, like I just have like the mouth of a sailor when I'm low as a child, and it's like I'm 4 years old. I've just been diagnosed, and like it's a new experience. It's hard for my mom. Everything. We're traveling around, we're getting a hotel room, and we're going through. I forget what state, and it starts snowing, and I'm just like, look at all that goddamn snow. And, and, and my aunt's like, what, why is she? And my mom's like, she's low right now. We're going to pull over. We're going to get a hotel room. We're just going to rest for a bit and we're going to relax. And like, we're doing that and they're resting and they're sleeping. And of course, I'm up after I'm coming up from a low and I'm just like, I don't want to sleep. And I turn on the TV and I'm so like, it's phenomenal. Shaking the table right now. What is her name? Kiki? I think it's Kiki. She's in our group as well. Um, yeah. How do you
Mhm.
pronounce Q?
That's
Yeah, it's
it.
her.
That's it, Kiki.
Okay. um, uh, but I was watching because, like, I love watching movies and everything, and like, Pootie Tang comes on, and it's like a restricted channel. So I'm like, yes, we will purchase this, uh, and I'm watching it, and my mom's like,
Did
you
you
need to
see
go.
her?
I saw her. I didn't know her at the time, and I was just like, I love this so much. I'm like, this is fun. I love this. A 4-year-old watching this. It was a perfect film for a 4-year-old. And I
It
was
was
just
funny.
watching. It was so funny. And I was just like, it's quoting things at the end. I'm like, I can dress nice. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's just, it was just phenomenal. But like going through and when first started talking to her, and I was just like, I remember you. You're you're dive and like around that time that it came out, that's when she got diagnosed. And I'm just like, it's like diabetes is just pulling in from every which direction. And I really don't remember what you asked. But yeah, like Pootie Tang, that's a good movie. I recommend. 5 out of 5.
So, so we were talking about you being diagnosed at 3 years old, but I already knew what I was going to follow up with that because, and I think that you have some type of mental like telepathy. Has anyone ever told you that?
About
Bec
my telepathy.
yeah, about your telepathy. Yeah, I mean, because I just wrote down diagnosed at 3.
Yes.
And then I wrote down after that, how was it for your mom? But you started talking about your mom.
Oh yeah.
So you were diagnosed at 3 years old.
Yeah.
And as a toddler, um, you probably have like limited to no recollection
I
of
do
that.
quite a bit. I,
Oh,
I I black out a bit, but like I remember it was very hard for my mom because she could not do syringes, and like my mom's an advocate. She's a fighter for like you're her child, like, and my mom's a school teacher. She's works in special education in Oakland, and she's an advocate for her kids. She loves kids and she's just an advocate. But when I was first diagnosed, it was so hard. It was a rough hit, and she had to take a moment. She had to take a step back, and leave me with with some other like family members until like she could come forward and like really be present and active in it, because she's like the first day in the Virginia Hospital, Children's Hospital, amazing pancakes, by the way. Children's Hospital gave out really good food. But she was like, I'm sorry, but she's just gonna have to die because I can't stab her every day with a needle, even though I know it's gonna save her life. Like that's too much. So um, that took a moment, but she came back and she like we fought for so many things and did so much. Like it took the longest time to get a pump. The so many reasons, but uh she never stopped, and she was just a great advocate. She's a great mom. Drives me crazy, but she's a great mom. Yes.
Have you now being an adult, have you been able to sit down and have a conversation with your mom about like how you being diagnosed truly affected her? Because at the time, was she was in the military, correct?
She was out when after she had me, but she was still no, she was out of the military by the
Okay,
time.
so she was out of the military. Um, but you've been diagnosed at 3, so she took on like that role of
Yeah.
being your pancreas, uh,
Yes.
like all of those things. So when you like, she probably could look at you and hear from like your speech, like, oh, she's about to go low. She's
Yeah.
about to have a hypo.
Yeah.
And our parents of children with diabetes
Yes.
are second to none. Seriously. And in this space, I must always give them their flowers
Oh yes.
because I see across social media daily the parents that do take care of these children, and I see how great of a toll it puts on them.
Yes.
Like mentally, it's traumatic, and there's nothing that can rid them of that trauma
Oh yes.
because, like, you were your mom's baby.
Yes. That was a double diagnosis. It was like your daughter has diabetes, and now you are about to get your medical degree in something you know nothing about, and you better learn it because this is your only patient. So if you fail, that's it.
Right. It was like, and it was forced upon her.
It was.
And when you think of other parents who don't have to go through those types of things, and you know that every parent I know, including myself, we all go through like
Mhm.
trials and hardships and things of that like that. So when a child is diagnosed with a new chronic health condition,
Yes.
we're already just trying to break bread and trying to meet like ends meet, things like that. And now you have this great ordeal. I was
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna say it how it is. Burden. It is a burden. Diabetes is a great burden
Hmm.
placed on top of all of that. It's like, okay, I'm trying to be a regular parent and raise a toddler, which is already hard,
Yes.
and other children. Like
Yes.
I'm trying to do that, but now I have this chronic health condition added on top of that, and no one's giving you resources.
No.
You have to figure out all of these things on your own,
Yes.
navigate them, find your own community, find your own peace. And like you said, like your mom really didn't want anyone to like know that you had diabetes
Yes.
because that would have placed another burden on her at that time. Like just think at that time, 20 something years ago, 23 years ago, society, how people were looked at, stigmas placed upon you.
Hmm.
And for a child, it would have been directly pinned at the parent.
Yes.
Shani got diabetes because
You,
exactly.
your actions, this, that, the other.
Yeah. And I hope that today your mom is more comfortable with you expressing. Hold on. She has to be comfortable with you expressing you.
She has no option.
There's no option. There's literally no option. I'm telling you, Shawnee, because I've changed the title of what I wanted to name this episode like 5 times already. Like, look, the first name was all over the place. Oh no, it was doing my best. Then I put all over the place. Then I said, what does it say? Look at that. Hold on. What did you say? Look at all that goddamn snow. Yeah. So look, I know that like your mom she's an amazing woman that I've never met, but I know that my mom's an amazing woman, so I know that she's equally great.
We are paragons of their resilience and
Mhm.
their dedication and just being there, sticking through it. Thank you, Alinky. Eh, she don't be mad. You call
Look, she's not gonna be mad because we're gonna share this episode with her, and mom, just you're probably gonna shed a tear, mom. I don't know, like because like your baby is here because of you. You birthed her, and
mm,
then 3 years later you rebirthed her. Like
mm,
seriously,
poetry.
it was like you went into the doctors or hospital, and they were like, "You got to take,
Congratulations.
yep, congratulations. Here's another one."
Another one.
Right, and this one comes with 180 more decisions per day. Like seriously, and we know living with this chronic health condition that when someone says 180 more decisions per day, you're like, yeah, right. It's a lot more than that.
Mm,
Because and that's, I mean,
divide by.
right. I'm thinking like could because you said your mom homeschooled you,
Hmm.
and I was like, she probably was like, I gotta protect this baby. These people ain't gonna kill my baby at
Yes.
preschool and middle. Like I'm thinking of like all of the different things like young people go through
Hmm.
in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Like my daughter's in 7th grade right now, and to think about like things people go through in middle school, like a
Oh
middle
yeah.
school, a 7th grade little black girl.
Adding on all that. Oh, that's enough. That's enough for a short HBO docu-series.
Look,
Adding on more.
and look, I've been telling my daughter she needs to create her own podcast.
Oh.
Look, so yeah, your mom did everything she could to make sure that she guided you and protected you
Hmm.
through those trying times. And look at you today. Today, you don't hide from nothing. You out there, and like a lot of people ask and they wonder like how does a child who's homeschooled get the benefits that other kids get of being able to socialize and communicate freely and all of those things. But when we're adults, we all end up the same.
Yeah, we're
So
all.
look, we all gotta pay taxes.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
whether you were a person diagnosed with diabetes at 3 years old and you were homeschooled from that time moving forward, or your parents like threw you back in school. Look,
Yeah.
you still had to pay for insulin.
Oh, oh, if only there were tax breaks. Oh, oh,
There would look until insulin is free. I'm going to keep on fighting
oh yes. Insulin for
because
all.
look, people are dying to live. Like seriously,
Yeah. It's,
non-diabetics have insulin going through their body that that is directly reacts to the intake of foods, the intake of energy, and all of those things. They don't have to pay for it.
I've been writing this kind of book thing about like diabetic vampires take that take insulin from non-diabetic. So it's like this draining insulin. Like we're not trying to attack our insulin producing loved ones out there, the humans out there, but like also that would be nice. But continue wherever you were
Right? I'm
going.
telling you, I don't. People they don't realize that like insulin. Everyone else has insulin that runs throughout their body. It's a hormone. So when we tell people that they have insulin in their body, the first thing they're like, "No, I don't."
Where is it? Like, oh, if you're just like, tell me where it is right now.
Right, right. And I'm like, do you see how like when you get excited, you can calm down at ease?
hmm
When I get excited, it's not like that. So that
No,
insulin hormone affects everything physically and mentally. It drains us.
yeah, it's oh, you I love talking. It's very rarely that I ever talk to another like diabetic and just hearing you talk, it's like, oh, triggering a memory. This. It's refreshing because like it's all of that. It's like the fight because I talk so much. But one last thing. My my mom and I used to be without a home in San Francisco when I was around ooh, like 7, 8, and the the resources. 'Cause my mom's a big. That's why I love research. But my mom's a big researcher. She would find places. We would get locations, like marvelous shelters out there, and she would find clinics that would offer like checkups and insulin and all the things, all the resources that are out there, and just the process of it all of having like to get on lists and to sign it up. It's nice that it's there, but it's so needed that everyone, not just, oh, you have to completely be without any kind of insurance or anything to get some sort of help. But once you get that kind of help, like, oh, how am I going to get the syringes or what the thing that's going to help me get the insulin into my body? Because I don't know if we're going to be drinking it. But there's so many factors and so much that just, it doesn't need to be this difficult. It really doesn't need to be this hard. There's so many things and so many gorgeous lives out there that are worth every ounce of insulin that their body cannot produce and more. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna start crying.
Look, and I tell everyone that I record with here in the States that we need that one pager everywhere that talks about our needs for insulin,
hmm
the resources. Why do we have to search for these resources? That's
Yeah.
another dilemma, another ordeal that we have to go through.
Yes.
Why in every state there isn't a one pager that tells you if you need
People.
insulin, this is where you get it from. Diabetic supplies,
Yes.
endocrinologists, lab work, like all of these things you can get.
Yes.
Like, where is that? And on top of that, where is the mental health
Yeah.
professionals that we all need to seek?
Yes.
Like, all of these things need to be there. Why can't they be gifted to us? Like,
Because it's a betterment for the community. It's a betterment for the whole. Like,
but we pour so much into the economy, like literally.
where does everything else go? I work in the archives every Saturday tomorrow, and um, so one of my employees, not my employees. I don't own the archives. One of my coworkers.
One of your co-conspirators.
um, he, he works for the archive section, but he also like creates the digitalized forms. We digitalize history and information so that it's up there on the site and they know. But he digitalizes it in, I think, in uh, Igbo as well as Hindi, because those are the languages that he understands and he knows how to write and communicate that. And I'm just like, I'm thinking about it. It's not just like if you lose a dialect and you don't translate that information in the dialect that different people speak and they don't have that resource, it's it's just lost to a entire another group. And that's like I don't know, my brain is just always on a tangent. It connects back to like when my grandmother first passed. I'd never cried. My mom was on that crying spell of everything and da 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 da. But I didn't realize that she has the same kind of um, dialect, like idiodact, like the tone of her voice, the way she says words, like that's going to be lost forever because like not everyone has the same kind of tone and the pacing and the way they talk. But like Apple had like this, like Maya Angelou commercial, and I was just like, that's my grandmother's voice. And I'm like, I just broke down on like a bus, and I was just like, this is insane. But where was I going? It's just the outreach. It's like the ability, like you were saying, to find it and just make it easy. Because like give it to us instead of being like, oh, you found it here. That was one point. There's your little checkered flag. Now go off on your next quest to find, oh, how is that going to affect and the mental health of it all? Like this is tiring. And they're like, oh,
It is.
you have your insulin now. You happy? No, not really. I'm happy we have it, but like what there's so much more to this. There's so much
Look,
more.
someone need to give me a vacation now. Like,
I yes. Oh, if only like with certain conditions you could get extra vacation time because like that like 80 hours or what how many ever days that's not enough. I need extra time, especially if you're going overseas or you're traveling. Like you got that jet lag, but then you also got to be like, oh, I need to make sure I can find like a pharmacy or a clinic that also has something just in case, and I need extra days. Like give me like diabetics deserve like 3 months, I feel, of vacation added to their added employee vacation
look,
benefit.
as you talk, I'm jotting down notes because we need something that's going to make or that's going to lessen the burden that is living with diabetes.
Yes.
And we know here in the US, everything is done state by state.
Yes.
So if you're in California,
Yes.
so if we can get that one pager created in California that has the resources that people will need as far as like even community clinics that can offer insulin, that can offer well checks and visits, endocrinologists, even like discounts
Mm-hmm.
at pharmacies. Like we need that one pager in every state. So yeah, it sparked something in me just having this conversation with you that
Yes.
I'm going to reach out to as like everyone.
Everyone. Everyone. Because like every single diabetic is a library in
Right.
themselves. There's so much information. And when that library burns down, it goes and it has to start all over again. But everyone, yes, let me know what I need to do. I will help in any way because this is so crucial.
Mhm.
I just because I used to be on my dad's medical insurance and I cried um a couple of months ago because I realized because like in California it's like 26 you have to get off your parents insurance, but when I turned like 18 I was like I need to figure something out now because I don't want to like wait up until that deadline. I want to figure something out so I can do it for myself. So I got on like healthcare plans and did all that other stuff. But I cried and I was just like, you get so caught up in the focus of like surviving and living and managing. You don't realize like, oh, these pivotal deadlines for like, oh, you
Mhm.
better you better be fully covered on your own at 26, because if not, huh, California's gonna slap you and just be like, "Oh, you're an adult." Um, but like, it's just like it's so much.
It's so draining and
It
tiresome.
doesn't need to.
Like,
And look, where do these numbers come? Who are these actuaries that are just like 26 sounds like not 25. We'll give you that extra year to be like, oh, that panic kick in. I'm
right.
like,
It's like you can rent a car now and you need to get
yes.
health insurance.
I'm like, what do you know? What happens at 26? You're like, you need to drive and you need to be covered. You don't you don't need to know nothing else.
Like, whose child did something to them when they turned 26? So they're like, we got to do this at 26 now.
That's the age. That's the age. No, no, no,
Right.
no. 24, 25. No, they good. 26. That's when they start acting out.
Right. So, like, when you're just talking about like insurance, I remember maybe about 15 years ago, maybe even more. Like, I didn't have insurance, and I
Hmm.
remember like needing my insulin
Hmm.
and going to my parents and my dad giving me his insurance card because we have
Yeah.
the same name,
Yes.
and actually going to the pharmacy, and I was going to actually use his insurance card. They ran it through and everything. But then the pharmacist was like, oh, I have these discounts and whatever, and it helped bring my insulin costs down.
Yes.
Like, everyone who lives with insulin dependence do not know about these resources.
I know.
Most people who live with it do not know about it. And most people who live with insulin dependence do not know that if we do not have or give that insulin for a certain amount of time,
Hmm.
there's no going back. Like, the complications will kick in,
Yeah.
DKA will kick in, because most of us, most people have not lived through DKA.
Diabetic ketoacidosis. Yeah.
So they're unaware that if I don't give insulin for this day because I can't afford it, that this is going to happen to me. And when that does happen, we've seen people pass.
Yeah.
So it's like, because we know that the government isn't going to change this.
No, this is not. No.
It's, it's a great burden being placed on us.
Yes.
Or we already have so many other things that we have to go through just to wake up.
Yes.
The hardships of going to sleep and waking up as someone living with insulin dependence. And our endocrinologists, our dietitians, our um, diabetes educators, they're not telling us about this stuff. Like, a diabetes educator should be more than someone telling you that your basal needs to be adjusted, your insulin to carb ratio needs to be
Mhm.
adjusted, all of those things.
Yeah.
A true diabetes educator, in the sense of, I mean, when I was a kid in school, I know you were homeschooled, but when I was a kid and I left the home to go to school, what I was taught was that my teachers should be um, a direct representation of like my parents in the school building.
Mm.
So they should care for me
Yes.
as my parents would.
Yes.
And I say that with like our diabetes educators. They're educators.
Yes.
Care for me as I would care for myself. So you should know, they should be able to like let us know that we should be able to call them. I'm out of insulin. What to do?
Hmm.
Um, I have this issue going on. What to do?
Yes.
I just lost my job. Insurance canceled. What to do?
Without that, like, no, like, no hesitation, no setback of like, oh, it's like, this is like, oh, this is on me. This is my problem. This is my diabetes. No, help me figure out how, like, because you're in this field, you're in this industry, you know the different resources and the different things. What is the best way to make this process easier? And connecting the dot from this one to this one of, oh, I I'm in school, I'm in university, I live on campus, I'm uh, a student. I've come from another state. I don't really know a lot of people here. What are the resources for me while I'm staying here and I'm living here and I'm doing my best to experience this college life? Um, I break my insulin and I don't have another refill for another 2 months. What am I going to do? I'm like, oh, tough luck. It's a good fasting 2 months of no insulin. See how that goes. But there need to be like other just resources. Just it sounds so simple in the head of
Hmm.
just like, oh, this is not the first time this has happened. Like, whatever experience that someone is going through with this has happened before. Like, what did the person do? This needs to be recorded and documented. Like, oh, this worked out. This person is still living and they have moved on to make new uh new discoveries of things that need to be addressed within the community. It doesn't need to be like, oh, it's done. That was handled. Let's push past it and go back to what we've been doing and what is usual or per policy or da 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 da.
Right. And if they don't know, I'm sure they've had patients that have had to go through these things.
Yes.
So, I mean, 1 in 2 diabetics have had to ration insulin.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this catalog needs to be created, and it can be created by the educators or endocrinologists. When you enter that office, before they start talking about everything else, and before you exit that office, they can ask simple questions as to, have you had trouble accessing your insulin this month? And if you have, how did you get your insulin? Oh, they know about this clinic on whatever street. Well, let me write that down
Yeah.
and add that to this catalog. Let me, when I have time, call to that clinic and see how they do those things so that the next time I have someone in need, this is what I do.
Yes.
Like how you're taking in these notes right now. This is what they should be doing because they compare all of us to each other. That's how they get the A1C numbers.
Mm.
Um, that's how they get like everything, our insulin to carb ratios and insulin duration. They compare it to everyone else's. So why can't they compare our hardships to everyone else's?
Oh gosh. It's oh yes.
Yeah. So let's work on that, Shani.
Yes.
Even though as people with diabetes, we shouldn't have to do it, but if we don't do it,
Who will?
who
Who
will?
will? Yeah, I know. Yes. With your radio voice, you will reach the nation and beyond.
You think I have a radio voice?
You
Like,
do have a radio voice.
if people knew about the years of training I've gone through as a public speaker, like seriously, I remember maybe like 10 years ago being in like AmeriCorps programs with public allies, and
Yes.
everyone's like, why aren't you the mayor of the city yet? And I'm like, that's not what I want to do
Mm-hmm.
at all. But I was writing something earlier today, and it'll probably be out shortly. It was a bio I was writing, and I put on there, my uncle. who actually had diabetes who passed away in like, I want to say like 1997, 1998, my Uncle Brooker. But when he used to come over to our house, he used to always tell my parents, that boy's going to be either a preacher or a teacher. He
Mm,
used to always say that. And like, I always say to my parents, like, Uncle Brooker was right. Like, I didn't become a preacher, but I did become a teacher.
you did.
Um, Not only a teacher in the books, but an educator in life also.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Uncle Brooker, for putting that in the space and allowing me to reach it and grab it.
Yes.
But Shani, as we do wind down,
Yes.
I do want to ask you. I have a few questions that I must ask you,
Okay,
and
and
if
I
you
answer them as directly and on track as possible.
Mhm. First, I do want to know, like, growing up with diabetes, it's been with you your entire life,
Hmm.
basically. How were you able to face and fight like a lot of the stigmas and just people in general?
I I feel like I was a bit I was sheltered from it a bit. People would say things, but then I would be like, I was very much a questioning child. I was like, "Oh, why?" They're like, "Oh, so they're like, "Oh, I got a lot as a kid." They're like, "Oh, you're diabetic, but you're not overweight or you don't do this or that." And I'm like, "Why do you think that?" And they're like, "Well, that's what diabetes is." I'm like, "Well, no, not necessarily." I'm diabetic because it may possibly just be it's a hereditary condition. I found out from my family. But I was like, no, that's not the reason I'm diabetic. I just am. It just is. It chose me. I got picked. I was sorted out, and it's I just like arguing with people. So I don't I like having conversations and just going on tangents, and I don't really think it it like affected me in the way of like, oh, the doubts of it all. I'm just like, no, why are you thinking that? Where'd you get this information? Like, let me know something because I don't know where this is coming from. But I think that's the answer I'm giving.
So, did you go through any of the typical teenage years of diabetes where many chose to hide it, uh, didn't give insulin when needed at times, fought back against their parents because their parents were like still trying to micromanage.
Well, my mother's still micromanaging. Only reason she can't do it as fully, she's in Oakland. I I feel like for me, most of my like teenage angst was very like developed and it kind of became like a very deep sadness. It kind of felt like, oh, like I know I'm going low right now, but I'm gonna take a nap. And I'm like, maybe it'll sort itself out. I I have to I have glucagons all the time. I have two glucagon those sheets that tell you what a hypo, like the effects of a hypo is, and I check them off. Like these were two very dark days, and I checked them off of all the symptoms that I was feeling, and it took me a long minute to really like get there. I was nearly at all those symptoms, and I was like, should I give myself this shot or should I just go to sleep? Kind of situation. And I'm glad I didn't go to sleep, but and like glucagon, it's the worst sugar kick you get. Like when you just put that in and you're just like, I feel everything. But I keep those on my bathroom mirror to be like, I I lived through as a teenager, as a young adult. And I'm like, I'm going to live through those. I'm going to feel these sensations and it's going to happen, but I'm going to come back from it and I'm going to reflect off of it. And it's going to be there, but I'm going to know that I passed past that. And like all those, like the reasons why, kind of like what, why you feel this way, like these intense, like, are you, it feels like those medical commercials. Oh, side effects may include severe depression, shakiness, blurred vision. I'm like, yeah, I felt all of that. And it was like that. I was like, I don't, I don't want to deal with this anymore. But it's like, yeah, you do, because after you give yourself this shot, you'll have another vial of something to hoard with the rest of your collection. So it's all.
Look, like you just said, it'll sort itself out, and I think that's what I'm going to go for the title. It'll sort itself out.
Okay.
Right. So, living with diabetes has been finished that. How has diabetes been for you? Living with diabetes has been.
Living with diabetes has been the most. Mm, I try not to cuss, but I feel like the best word to describe words, let's do two words. It's like a beautiful experience. It's like, oh, it's like, wow, I cannot deal with this at the moment, but if I didn't deal with it, I wouldn't have met Will. And I like the gratitude and the agitation of it all. It merges into this beautiful mesh. And I'm just like, if I didn't have diabetes, I don't know who I would be. If I didn't have diabetes, I feel like I would be a completely different person. I don't know if I would hang out with myself. I like the person I am today, the only person I know myself to be, I'm comfortable with, I reside in, and I embrace is because of diabetes. Like all the like henna and whatnots to cover up little prick holes, because sometimes you just that one week your index finger is the only one you want to use, and just like, oh, like when you go camping and people are like, take your shoes off, and I'm like, if I cut my foot, I might just bleed out because it's not going to heal right away. And just like all these little things, it's just like this wonderful, it's like making people uncomfortable when you go out to eat and you're just like, do you mind if I shoot up at the table? And they're just like, what? And I'm like, it's okay, you don't have to ask questions, just give me a yes or a no, I can go to the bathroom. This it's Diabetes has been the best worst experience of my life and has brought me the most amazing community of people I would have never met. I still don't think I could ever purchase a I Heart All Diabetics kind of shirt because like I don't love all people. I love people, but like I'm not like you meet me on the wrong day and it's not going to be great. So like I don't love myself as diabetic sometimes. I can be very trifling, but I embrace that and I know I have very good days most days. So I love it. I hate it. It's a great relationship in the worst of times and the best of times. It's
But
worth it. It's worth it.
diabetes is preparing you for that future relationship that you were talking about an hour or so ago.
With whom?
Exactly. With who? Because you were saying that you're like, I've never been in.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So diabetes is preparing you for that.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm going to be the Nick Jonas of this relationship. Get myself a fine partner and just be embraced by it all. I'm just like, oh, I love watching. That's another thing. I just love watching like diabetic unions because like my brain when I was younger, I was like, do people marry diabetics? And that was like a genuine question. I'm like if they found out, like is that like something like is that like the thing where your grandma's like hide your crazy just a little bit until after you're married? And I'm like, do I hide that I'm diabetic? And I'm just like, oh, honey, why do you always sneak off like before meals? And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
just things. Private matters. I'll come back later. Uh, like don't touch that box behind the fridge. It's mine. Don't ever open it if you love me. Uh, but yeah, that's I guess it is building me towards that. It's
Mhm.
forming something.
Is definitely forming something, and again, it will sort itself out.
You got your title. I'm gonna stop talking now, so nothing else
Right.
pops.
No, you're
Sort
not going to
of
stop. I did want to follow that up with because I have to ask you this question. I haven't asked anyone this, but it reminded me. I recorded with someone a couple weeks ago, and I can't wait until this episode comes out. It's the funniest thing ever. I think I was going to name it diabetic, but I don't think that'll be go well. When you hear this episode, you're going to say what? Oh man, I have to talk to you off air about what
yeah.
it's all about.
Oh,
But but I did want to ask you what are like the wildest thing we've all had wild things occur
mm,
living with diabetes. Like
yes.
just name something, one of the wildest things.
The wild, probably the week that I was getting my degree in the mail because it was during the pandemic and they were shipping it out. I was coming downstairs and I just woke up from a low and I was an out of body experience. Like it's just like you're watching a reality television. You're just
Mhm.
like, and my uncle's like, it came, and this the movement of it all, and I was like, it came, and I was laid out on the floor, and I was like, yes, it came, and I was just rolling around, and he's like, I think I think we need to do something for you. And I'm like, I probably could eat, but like my uncle's sweet. I love my uncle. So kind. He made me eggs, no carbs in that, but that's okay. He gave me a glass of orange juice. That was the saving grace. And I was just sitting there, just rocking back and forth in the chair, rolling around on the floor because I refused to sit. I would get in the chair and then I'd be like, the floor is a better place to be. And he just gave me my food and I was just eating, staring at my diploma. And I'm like, it came, and it was like that was the weirdest experience for me. That's
That's funny. That's funny because I think we've all experienced something like that. Yeah. So to wrap up this, Shani, I do want to ask you this question that I
Okay.
ask everyone
Ooh,
on the day
yes.
a cure is here,
Mm,
fully here, fully eradicated. And I'm not talking about like what we see out there, like being derived with like stem cells and all of that, but
yeah.
just a magical unicorn comes down,
Or
sprinkles its fairy dust,
some kind of dust is being sprinkled. Yes.
and diabetes is fully eradicated. You wake up and you're like, Will, you feel that? Like, I don't feel that. Like, Shawnee, you feel that?
Yes.
I don't feel that. Like, where'd my diabetes go?
Yes.
On that day, you wake up and diabetes is fully eradicated. What do you do?
Ooh. On that day, I I'm going to wake up. I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to take off everything that is attached to my body and take a completely naked shower. And I I'm still going to be attached because I've had it for 23 years. I'm still going to be attached. So I'm going to start working on like it's going to be like pre, post, like pre, during, and post of like diabetes to its end. I'm going to start writing a book. You're going to be in it. We're going to have everyone up in it, and we're going to be like, this was what it was like before the end, and where did this end come from? It's going to be an amazing book, and it's going to get a series on Netflix. Maybe not Netflix. We'll work out that stuff later, but I want
BT.
yeah, there we go. It's gonna be a good one. You're gonna produce it. Um, we're gonna keep it and remember it because just in case that unicorn decides to be like, hey, gonna need all my dust back and bounce. We're gonna need to figure out a way like where did this unicorn come from and all of that. But I'm just gonna be happy and I'm just gonna be I wanna ooh, what I do? I just never thought of that. I don't even think it's even about eating. I wanna, it's like, I wanna sit in silence without hearing anything beep. Like, just like not like maybe it's a fire alarm, but that's like, oh, there's a fire. I ain't got to do nothing about that. Let it burn. But like, nope, nothing. Just relax and just, I can focus on other. I got time to focus on other issues. I got time. So I got added things. Like we
and
can,
and you got money to bank.
oh my Lord, I'm a millionaire at that point.
Right.
Oh my goodness. The production company is just taking off. We are what is Hollywood? This is Shawneewood now. Yes, it is. Yes.
Are you trying to change the name?
No, I'm not. Leave it. It'll sort itself out. It'll sort itself out. Oh.
I got you. But I did write that down. Shani would. It's probably you've probably said that before though.
I do. I talk to myself a lot.
Okay.
Oh,
Shani, is
yes.
there anything that we did not cover?
I don't you did a marvelous job curating this journey. I feel like the flight landed. We clapping for you. You're a phenomenal pilot. I love this experience. I love your energy. I love everything that you're doing, and I genuinely appreciate it. Um, I think we good. We good.
On that note, Shani, thank you for joining me on the Chronically Will podcast, where we have real conversations with community that need to be heard. And Shani, may I say, you're definitely someone that needs to be heard.